And welcome everybody here to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. My name is Andrew Valentin, and I hope you're all having a most fantastic Friday because we are coming to you live here from the Illinois Media School here in the O'Hare campus. I almost said Lombard, but we're not there anymore, folks. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're not freezing cold like we are. It's winter if you didn't know it, honestly. But wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen, day or night, I hope it is just right. Happy Thanksgiving for those. Obviously, we were away for the holidays, and we took another week off because schedules. But, yeah, we've been away for a little while, and obviously a lot of news has happened.
For Andrew's world, the college football world has completely changed.
Yeah.
The NFL has flipped the 180.
Yeah, oh, God.
Everything's happened.
To go to the start of the year and where we're at right now, I would have never guessed any of this would have happened. But I guess in some kind of way, I guess I'm also grateful for it because it gives us a chance to have topics of conversation and content. And I appreciate that about the NFL and college football. But, man, is it making us have to stand on our heads and try to guess what's happening where, and then when things happen, then we have to speculate and comment, and we give our opinions, and then you guys get angry at us, me specifically, because Scotty can do no wrong, obviously. I do all the wrong. I don't know what
that's right, boys.
I don't know. What did I do to you? I don't call you idiots and morons all the time.
No, you just call their teams that. So.
Yeah, I do, because sometimes they're dumb. Sometimes, like any ACC fans out there, you have dumb, stupid teams in a dumb, stupid conference. They clearly don't want to be in the playoff. They clearly don't. There's every evidence to show that they're just like, nah, we don't want that. We don't want to be a part of that. It's so, oh my God. Hi, everybody. We're back. We got obviously a lot of college. We're going to kick it off with college football, go to the NFL, and then get back to college football and NFL for the Pick Six because this is going to be a wild week. A lot of things obviously are going to be implications both for the NFL playoffs and, of course, for the college football playoff as well, too. Again, of course, Scotty Kiefer's with me yet again. Scotty, how you doing, man?
Hi, I'm doing great.
Awesome, man. Awesome. You sound so happy to be here.
Well, I mean, I'm nervous for my own football team, so.
That's fine. That's fine. I understand. Well, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about my football team that I root for, amongst others as well, too, kind of in quick notation and stuff like that. Yeah, and obviously, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to check us out anymore, too, you guys can always, of course, see us. We are live right now on YouTube and on Twitch. That's at youtube.com/xbombsports and twitch.tv/xbombsports. If you have anything you'd like to check out with us as well, too, we're always on the social media side. That's the Twitter, the Facebook, the Instagram, and the TikTok, where you can catch all the highlight clips that are cut by our very own Frankie Oliveri, ladies and gentlemen, who unfortunately is not here, as is unfortunately, no Bad Karma today either. The Bad Karma boys are very busy, so they are no wrestling talk, unfortunately, for them today. But be on the lookout, folks, because we are T-minus. How long are we away now from Saturday Night Main Event?
8 days.
8 days. We're 8 days away from the very end of John Cena's reign being with the WWE. It doesn't mean the very end, but it just means the end is.
I don't know the way he's saying it. This is the very end.
I think there's a very. He'll come back in spots. We'll see the occasional Cena in the future. That's in the future though, distant future.
Cold Stone announcing the attendance at WrestleMania type deal.
Yeah, he's gonna take a very long needed break. I think from just being like I can relax, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. So, but I'm really excited, too, because obviously with his leaving, as sad as it is to say, that means there's spots opening up for, I think, some really incredibly young talent. Just to say myself, I'm a big fan of some people that wear sunglasses and are super cool and I think just have the chops to be a champion at some point in time.
He's talking about 4-year-old LA Knight right there.
Oh, yeah.
He's also talking about 40-year-old Jey Uso. That's who he's talking about.
God. By the way, I'm just going to say this. I don't know if you saw this. There was a funny TikTok that showed somebody saying if I was in a bar fight with Jey Uso and it was them getting into a pretend fight with somebody as they're, like, punching them, and then it's just the guy standing on the table with sunglasses like that. Because, if you know wrestling, Jey Uso kind of
is a hack.
Well, I didn't want to say it, but yeah, he's boy, when if you watch the wrestling documentary for WWE where they were talking about making him the winner, it seemed like maybe he was going to skyrocket, and boy, that rocket fell hard, man. God, tried and failed. Kind of like how SpaceX did in those very early beginnings when those rockets would just fall straight to the ground. Whew, all right. That's your bad karma segment for the boys who aren't here. Love you guys. Miss you. Hope you both are doing great. No Gimmick St. Johnson and David Double D Dykstra. All right, Scotty, we got a lot to talk about. You ready to get into this?
Mania, baby.
Yes. We're starting off with college football, and we got to talk about it because Lane Kiffin, if you don't know, how do you not know? What are you, living under a rock?
Are you like Patrick Starr? You live under a rock? Like, what's going on, dude?
Exactly. Who are you people? What is this? Yes. Lane Kiffin is officially the new head coach of LSU, leaving Ole Miss in what I can only describe as 5-year-olds fighting in the classroom levels of arguments between him and the athletic director, I forgot his first name, Carter, I know is his last name. It is... Obviously, there's a lot of feelings about this whole breakup. This is probably, I will say, in my time of watching college football, this is probably the ugliest breakup I have seen between coach and program.
So here's my question to you, Andrew.
Please.
Who's more at fault for it, though? Because to me, obviously this is Lane Kiffin moving on, and Lane Kiffin has, destroyed some bridges in the past,
sure.
Obviously.
Absolutely.
But again, at the same time, Ole Miss did kind of give him an ultimatum after the Egg Bowl when it really didn't need to be there. It really
Correct.
didn't seem like it needed to take center stage in the midst of a college football playoff run. So who's really at fault for it?
Yes, and that's the question that everybody's kind of asking. And look, I'm somebody who likes to gather my information, so I will sometimes listen to others outside. I think it's always a good thing to kind of listen to the other talking heads. Love them or hate them, listen to them, hear what they have to say, and from there, you can kind of say, I didn't think about that, or I've heard that before, I agree, I don't agree, all that stuff. Listening to everybody, you could split the blame, I think, in some ways down the middle. For me, though, if you're asking me, lean to one side or the other, you can't pick on the fence, fine. I'm going to lean a little bit farther towards Ole Miss on this.
That's where I'm at with
Exactly.
it.
And the reason is because from what I have been told in explanation through how this went down is Lane wanted to coach. Obviously, the word is Lane wanted to coach the team throughout the playoffs. And then at the end, it sounded like that's when he wanted to give his decision. Unfortunately, Carter, the AD for Ole Miss, pretty much like you said, Scotty, where we were hearing Lane was the one with the ultimatum way beforehand. Turns out Ole Miss apparently threw down the gauntlet and said, here's our ultimatum. You commit to us and you can coach the team throughout the playoffs, or you don't coach this team. And when you put that in front of Lane Kiffin, what's he going to do? He's got a job lined up in front of him that's paying him a lot of money, that's basically saying, we want you right here, right now, as soon as you can.
Well, also, yeah, I think that goes for anyone. If you're given the opportunity to take a jump, not a lateral move, not a downgrade, but an upgrade in position. Because no offense to Ole Miss, LSU is a bigger school. Mm-hmm. They're going to offer him more money. They're a higher prestige school. I mean, if you turn that to a normal person thing, that if their normal job, like if you were offered a job that's higher and they're giving you an ultimatum at your work, yeah, of course you're probably not going to stay there because you're getting an upgrade.
Right.
So you can't really fault Kiffin for doing it. His reaction to it was a little absurd.
Yes.
But he shouldn't have really been put in that position by Ole Miss.
No, he was very much put in a very public setting where he had to kind of come out and in a way defend himself. The other part is, though, too, that he did make this also very public kind of beforehand as well. So that's where the thing is like, yeah, both sides get the blame, but I'm not going to sit here and blame Lane Kiffin for leaving for LSU, for leaving Ole Miss to go to LSU, okay? Look, yes, you're going to sit here and obviously say, well, Andrew, you're biased. You're an LSU fan. I'm going to tell you this right now. the LSU fan inside of me is skeptically cautious on this one. Because whilst I am very much in love with the fact that this is the kind of coach that I think LSU's needed, I also know what kind of coach Lane Kiffin is. And he has never been one who has stayed at a spot very long. This is the longest he's ever been tenured with a program of any kind in college. So it's a little hard for me to sit here and say it's a lock, stock, and barrel. Yes, LSU feels like one of those jobs where it's like the buck should stop there. But who's to say if the opportunity doesn't seem to be there, he could leave for another opportunity that maybe opens up, that maybe it pays the same, but there's more chances for him to make a run.
To further your point, Andrew, I'm fully going into this, and we talked behind what the outlook of an LSU Lane Kiffin team looks like and how to progress this team.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone within 5 years. If that Bama job opens, he's gone in 5 years.
That's the only job that
It's the only job that he'd take. It's the only job he wants. It's the reason why we waited until Sunday morning to get the actual confirmation he's going to LSU.
Right.
It's because him and the AD were sitting in there watching the Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
Because if in some world Alabama lost to Auburn,
which they almost did,
he would have made a pitch like, I'll come to Alabama.
No, of course.
That's the job he wants.
If Kalen DeBoer was going to be out, which I still say even if they lost that game, I don't know if he would have been fired. It's tough. It's a touch and go thing, right?
It's a tough one because that is a bad Auburn team.
You lose to that bad Auburn team, yeah, that's a tough sell, believe me, especially when you're talking about backup quarterback came in and beat you kind of stuff. That's not good. But nevertheless, yes, if that was probably why everyone was like, oh, they're apparently watching the game. Like, yeah, of course they are, because if anything does come up, that is,
also they were probably
Ohio
watching
State
it.
and Bama are the top jobs.
They were also probably watching it because that also means, all right, maybe the Bama job may not be open, but now Ole Miss is in the SEC championship game, so they were probably watching for that reason too.
Of course, of course, and look, I understand. You can bend it any way you like to fit your narrative, your story. At the end of the day, though, both the AD and Lane Kiffin, I think, Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin both have points where you go, yeah, they were kind of in the wrong, but I can't really blame them for the decisions they make, right? Do you really want Lane Kiffin coaching your team for 2 months or almost 2 months, more or less, and saying, hey, I know we're here at Ole Miss, but, when I leave, want to come with me? Meanwhile, on the other side, you've got Lane Kiffin, who's kind of like, you're going to put an ultimatum in front of me. I'm going to take the ladder and go. I'm going to go do my thing. If you're going to say this is what you do or you don't, and I've already told you my position that we could easily follow, because you've got Summerall doing it in Tulane. We'll get to that here soon. And you've got some other coaches, by the way, too, who are going to be doing it where they're going to be taking coordinator jobs but are allowed to finish with their teams as well. Why can't you do that for Kiffin? Obviously, this is a high-profile thing. I understand. It just, when it's high-profile, that's when you should start to handle things a little bit more delicately, because when it gets ugly like this, it looks bad for everybody. And it looks bad, I think, a little bit more now on Ole Miss than anything, because it's like, well, you gave him the option, and you said it's this or that, instead of, hey, let's work it out. And when you say, like, we're not working out, it's this or that, well, how do you think it's going to go? Going to be an ugly breakup.
There must have been some obviously it is Lane Kiffin, so there's obviously some clashing that's been happening in the background for the last couple years.
Yeah.
That the fact that Ole Miss gave him this opportunity to get back in the limelight, and then he turns the school around, makes them a great team with some great players like Dart and Chambers and
Judkins, even though I know he didn't finish there, but still, like,
yeah, like. There's obviously something in the background that's been like festering that's like, look, we've given you all this and you're coming in with this is outrageous, when really it kind of is a fair deal. Like, hey, just let me finish out the year because I am committed to your school.
Right.
But I have to further my own career. And, I mean, you can't fault Kiffin for wanting to do that. So
No, absolutely not. And who would? I mean, here's the thing again. Look, loyalty in college football, unfortunately, kind of went out the window a while back.
Yeah, it kind of went away in 2014 when they brought the college football playoff.
But yeah, loyalty to the brands, unfortunately, went away a long time ago. It's probably been going on for a while, but more than ever now, especially with NIL, transfer portal, all that stuff, a lot of it's now loyalty to a coach, loyalty to coaches, right? You kind of see that. When certain coaches get let go, what happens? A lot of these kids either follow those coaches or they say, you know what, I'm not going to commit to this school anymore. I'm going to open it up, try and see if maybe I can find a home that's going to feel like I had when I was going to this school, right? It happens all the time. It happens all the time. Just now, little breaking news for everybody, Chris Henry Jr., top wide receiver in the country, is committed to Ohio State. When Brian Hartline is leaving Ohio State, again, we're going to get into that, but everybody would have thought, well, do you want to commit to the school with the guy that just left? You're committing to the school that's right now the heavy favorite to win the national title.
And
again.
Also basically turning into wide receiver you.
Sorry, LSU. You've lost that chance.
They've lost it.
They have the God receiver, and this could be the God Junior. This could be the Jesus receiver.
Yeah.
This could be the Jesus. I don't know where you go from there because they got the next number one wide receiver being like, I mean, everybody else is going there. Stop it. Leave some for the rest of us. But again, for Lane Kiffin, how they're going to do, I'm hoping by year 3 you're contending for the playoffs. You're in the SEC championship
And
game.
I like that you say that because this is what I mean by we talked about this. Message to LSU fans, you need to be a little bit patient.
Patience is going to be a virtue here, but it's a good enough coaching hire with enough of a pedigree that you know he should be good enough using the portal from what we've seen in the past. Using recruiting from what we've seen in the past.
This is not going to
build
be
a
like
roster.
This is not going to be like other head coaches where you hire them in the first year as like a reset year.
Right.
I mean, obviously college football is different because of the transfer portal and all that, but they're going to have a competitive team next year.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be certain questions, especially at the quarterback position, spots on defense. They're already losing some of their top guys on defense in the transfer portal.
Oh yeah.
But you're going to replace it. That's not the point. The point is you can't walk into next year expecting LSU to be a national championship contender unless they go out and pull one of the best quarterbacks in the portal, and it's got to be a God-changing quarterback. I don't even think Arch Manning could do something like that.
I mean,
you really got to lower your expectations a little bit if you're a fan of LSU.
Yeah.
Because you went into this year thinking you were a national championship, and you ended up firing your head coach.
Right.
You got to bring it down a little bit. This move is not a quick fix for that team. With everyone leaving and with new guys coming in, it's going to take a minute. Just be patient.
Yeah, no, and that's all I can really say for LSU fans is you just have to breathe, let this one kind of air out, see what happens once the dust has settled after a little while, and I would say just thank your lucky stars that this is the kind of coach you got. A man who has SEC experience, right? That helps. Has connections with the South in all recruiting levels. Louisiana, Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, Georgia. He knows how to touch them all. Tennessee, right? It's the kind of coach they needed. They thought they were getting in Brian Kelly. Turns out that was not working. I never believed it would. And now you have the guy that, I'm going to say, feels a little Ed Orgeron-esque.
He fits the culture of LSU.
He does.
Think of describe Lane Kiffin, and that kind of describes the culture of LSU.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing to say that. You need to have that sort of moxie in the SEC.
Need the swagger.
You need that kind of swagger. When you have top teams like Alabama and Georgia destroying every single year, you need something that separates you from the pack.
Yeah.
And so you don't fall behind in it.
And plus now you got the smart guy over there in A&M, Elko.
Yeah, look at A&M. Look at Vanderbilt, who's put themselves up because their star quarterback is just an insane dude.
Yeah.
Off the field, he's just a cool guy, and people are going to get behind him like that.
Yeah.
You got to have something that separates you in that SEC, and Lane Kiffin is exactly what LSU needs.
Absolutely. And for those, again, when it comes down to the money stuff, allow me to explain things to you, okay? The money situation with college football, yeah, it's a little out of control here with all the coaches getting paid.
Look at BYU.
That situation, we're going to get to that here soon with that Penn State thing's going to be, we're going to have some good conversation on that. But you got to understand, Ole Miss's money, from what I've been led to understand, is old America aristocratic money that comes from, unfortunately, a darker period of our time with the plantations and things like that, with small investments coming in from obviously hedge funds and things like that. A lot of prominent people have come from Ole Miss. LSU kind of fits into the same realm now. from I've understood these last few years with A&M and Texas Tech, because they have the oil money. The difference is where they are land oil, as in like Landman. By the way, great show. Love you, man. Billy Bob Thornton's killing it. They're offshore oil. They are the offshore rigs.
Deep ocean oil.
Deep water horizon tragedy, I know, but it's that kind of stuff.
What, yeah,
think of that
stuff.
Big rig you see out in the ocean drilling for oil. Those dudes that run like BP, again, I'm not a great company or anything, but those guys are just flooded with cash, and they're just like, whatever you need, just tell the governor to shut up. I'm begging you.
I mean,
run the state. Don't worry about LSU. I know you're an alum. Run the state.
Would you rather be BYU, though?
No.
Okay.
Too many rules.
Andrew, to go through all the head coaches, I'm going to give you some names.
Please.
You could just give me some of your quick hitters on them, because you don't need to go into all of them.
I broke them all down, but we're not going to hit every single person.
In depth.
Yeah, in
just
depth.
I'll give a brief overview.
Depths of everybody.
There's a couple guys will go into it.
Yeah.
Morris to Oklahoma State.
I love it. I think it's a great move because it feels like Mike Gundy without the Mike Gundy.
It kind of fits, but again, you got to be patient. Oklahoma State was one of the worst college football programs in the nation this year.
You're asking a young coach who stepped in at North Texas, and you're saying, okay, you're going from level 2 to level like 8.
4.
Yeah, 4. 4's good. Yeah, 4's probably best because
again,
they are bad.
This is a really bad Oklahoma State team.
Yes, but the expectations, first off, expectations are going to get raised because
100%.
David brought up a good point. Texas Tech is probably going to throw the bag at Mestamaker. And probably at Hawkins, the running back, too.
Probably.
But you've got a true freshman quarterback that didn't start in high school, that walked onto the team and now is one of the top quarterbacks in college. You have the only other running back next to Jeremiah Love who has over 1,000 yards rushing, over 15 touchdowns, under 200 carries, by the way, and Jacob Hawkins.
And I don't think Oklahoma State's got the money to pull them in. They just don't.
From what I understand, though, they're apparently calling some of their big backers, and the bags are starting to flow in.
Yeah, but do they have Crumble Cookie, though?
They don't have Crumble Cookie.
Okay.
They don't have Crumble. Here's the thing. I didn't even know Crumble Cookie was that big of a thing. I knew they were all over the place. I didn't realize that dude's like a billionaire.
I didn't know Crumble Cookie was Mormon.
Neither did I. I'm eating Joseph Smith cookies. It's a good thing I'm not a religious man. I'd probably be spewing out. What did they cross? Right? I don't know how that works. I'm not touching that one.
Let's go back to the SEC.
Yeah.
Silverfield going to Arkansas.
Oh man,
it's a weird one.
It's a weird one, but I think weirdly it works because he's a program builder. And that's really what Arkansas needs, is to actually have a program. Because the way they were going this year was you fired the head coach. You had good old Bobby Petrino riding along on his motorcycle trying to keep the thing on the road. And to some degree it was working. You had a quarterback.
To some degree, but I would say that's more of the players than the coaching.
Yeah, that's the thing, is the players were the ones keeping it on the road. The coach was kind of just like, I'll give you what you need, but it really needs to be you guys funneling it. This is the guy that you say, I don't know if Green's staying, but let's say he is. Here's the guy that you go and you say, we're going to fix all your inconsistencies, get you down to a point. We're going to get the defense just right. And I think within 3 years, let's say, 8-4, 9-3, like they could be back to being competitive in the SEC again.
True. Speaking of the SEC, Golish going to Auburn.
I really like that move. That's fresh blood.
That's fresh.
That's
something different for Auburn. I think they need that right now.
Exactly. That's different. You've got a quarterback that's bigger, stronger, maybe even faster than Bynum Brown and Deuce Knight, that just proved to you that the kid can play.
I don't know. Deuce Knight might want to transfer.
He might.
That kid's got potential.
He might, but that's the thing. That dude is a left paw from God for that team right now.
I mean, who knows? Maybe he pulls what Pitt did and the backup takes over.
Could.
You know?
Ashton Daniels played well. He played really well. So it's a good problem to have. Golish is a guy, though, that has obviously proven I can fix it. And again, I'm going to say this too, proves that Deion made the wrong choice. Obviously South Florida's building head coaches.
True. Speaking of Florida, Summerall going to Florida.
Yeah, you were asking me a lot about this because I told you, I'm like, this is kind of the high rumor that he was kind of favored. I was hoping he was going to go to LSU if they couldn't get Kiffin. I think it's I give it, if you're going to grade it, I gave it like an A higher.
Yeah,
because
I'm more upset. I'm upset that the Gators didn't get Kiffin, but I don't think Kiffin would have answered all the questions. I think from what's being described to me from you and from David, this guy's a program builder. He's a defensive mind, which is a little different for Florida, but kind of fits with their current team, so I kind of like that. The changing of system might be a little weird, but they'll figure that out soon enough.
It brings them back to kind of an old school SEC model that you saw underneath Urban Meyer, where the offense was efficient. They were, they moved quickly. The good thing about him is that it's a fast attack on offense, and then it's a punish them defense through the 3-4, where you've got edge rushers as linebackers getting to the quarterback. You've got the defensive line that's pushing in. You got corners that, again, it's Florida. They got speed all over the field. I'm telling y'all right now, Florida's got they got 3 linebackers that started this year as sophomores that I watched. Graham's one of them. The other kid he's like 6'3", 245. Good. He looks like an
I think he runs like a 4'6".
Yeah, something like I think he could be a Patrick Willis if he puts it all together. Like, that's that dude.
I would say this, the one thing that I think would make or break, I think it's a big decision how he gets along with DJ, because I think if DJ goes.
That's the only thing
from what I've heard, DJ's a Florida guy through and through. From what I've heard.
No word yet if he's going to move.
But no word if he's going to move. From what I've heard is that he doesn't really want to.
No.
But again, that's rumor. That's not from him. So I think that's going to make the big decision for me. But from what I'm hearing so far, I'm kind of excited.
You keep the core together from what we've seen right now. Nobody moved in the portal when Napier got fired. If that's the case, you keep this team together. You bring in the transfer portal guys. You bring in the recruits. This team could be competing for the SEC within about 2-3 years, I think. They've got that kind of pedigree right now on that team.
Compared to other teams, and obviously we're going to get into Penn State in a minute, I think the school's bigger than the coach.
Yes.
So the coach and the school aren't on an equal level. That's why not a lot of people left.
Yeah, you won't have an Urban Meyer sensation with him, but you will get, I think, a culture like Urban Meyer where that will be like, oh, the Swamp and Gainesville are back.
Yeah, that's kind of the point that I've been getting from
That's
Florida.
what they've needed all year long. That's what they needed for the last 3 years, and they haven't had.
Did I not say that my biggest complaint with Napier was he got rid of that? Chesney, UCLA?
It's a good hire. It makes.
I don't really know what. I don't know. I don't know.
Here's what I'm gonna say. I think he's one of the 2 coaches where you kind of go like, why does this happen? I think it's because you have total control and autonomy over this team.
Yes,
no
but
one's
is he gonna get the most out of Nico though?
That's if Nico stays. He may transfer out.
Nico's probably gonna stay, man.
I would think so.
I don't think anyone's gonna pay him again.
But here's what you have to look at. If you look at the quarterback Barnett for James Madison, he really was like a no-name kind of guy. All of a sudden now, he's on everybody's radar as like hey, if we need a quarterback, we may go get – like that's the thing is Chesney has been a part of that kind of growth just like Cignetti was when he was there. I'm not saying Chesney's Cignetti, but this is the kind of thing where Cignetti went to Indiana and was told, you have full control over what you want to do with this program.
Take as much time as you need. You got it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I think Chesney is here. He's like – do what you have to do. Get us back to where we're at least in that conversation of like, hey, UCLA is just be competitive with USC right now.
Yeah, you don't gotta just be
competitive with your rivals.
Be better than Cal. Like that's kind of what they're going for.
Which might be hard to do, by the way, because they got to hire too.
True.
And a damn good.
You want to know what? Let's just skip right to that one real quick.
Yeah.
Loophole to Cal.
I love it.
Could be a good hire. Could be a good hire.
It's not an A hire, but like as far as like the charisma and the energy he brings, I love it because he is the Mr. like you go and you destroy quarterback, and I'm like, that's kind of this is another team where it's like, what's their identity? What's their culture? Everyone keeps fleeing to the wind. It's like, no, now you have a guy that says, that's who we are. This is who we are. This is what we need. This is who I need. Let's go get him.
I think it'll be exciting because there's no real team like that in the ACC.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it's crazy saying Cal in the ACC.
And you have a quarterback.
But I do think that is interesting because of the fact that there is no real team like that in the ACC.
Right.
So this is a little bit of a different thing and off the plot of the ACC coaches.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, him with that quarterback and the connection, by the way, he has with American Samoa and Hawaii, it's nuts. The guy has a direct line to like any top player from those islands. Hins, hey, brother man, let's talk.
Yeah, true.
Please,
let's go
don't use
back.
that.
And I kind of texted you about this one because I'm actually calling this one of the most underrated coach signings out there this year. Pat Fitzgerald to MSU. I'm going to break it down real quick.
Go ahead.
I think this is fantastic for MSU because I don't think people gave Northwestern credit for what they actually were when he was the head coach, because there were years where they put it all together, and we're talking about Northwestern at the same time.
Yeah.
Obviously, all of the off-the-field stuff comes with this, and yes, that does need to be discussed.
Of course.
I am just going to talk about on the field. This is a great hire for MSU because right now they're in the shadow of Michigan. They've always have been, and this is for the longest time they've been in the shadow of Michigan.
Yeah.
This is a move that it doesn't get them to that point to where they're equal, but it starts. I think he could be a really good foundation and stability hire for MSU, which is what they really need because they haven't been anything since K9 left.
No, yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Is that D'Antonio leaves. He's really kind of the backbone of that group when he's the head coach there.
And even when he was like at the last couple of years, they were still.
They won the Big Ten twice with him as the coach.
Nothing. I'm talking the last year.
Oh,
the last couple of years.
Yes.
There was really nothing there.
No.
The last couple of years of him.
And still got a lot out of those. I mean, he still has guys going to the NFL producing, and guys like Jaden Reed and stuff like that. So it's a solid hire for Michigan State. As for how this will affect Pat Fitzgerald in that roster, it's again, you're going to need to take some time with it because he's always been Mr. Diamonds in the Rough, Mr. Explosive Play. He is Mr. Hard Hitter, right? He builds it in the Midwestern style, right? 3 yards and a cloud of dust and a hard-hitting defense with a quarterback that can just kind of funnel it in there. I like it. Again, it's about stability. It's about identity. It's about finding your culture. It's just the problem is that with him, it's a lot of patience because, look, again, like you said with Northwestern, look how long it kind of got before they got to that level of like, okay, we got quarterback check, we've got running back check, we got defense check. Okay,
but
we're
again,
good.
let's not act like those years where they didn't have everything and it didn't really come together. Let's not act like Northwestern was this pushover team.
They did almost beat Ohio State in the COVID year.
Yes. I mean, this was not a pushover team. They were a middle-of-the-pack team that was kind of giving struggle to a lot of teams. Kind of like how Auburn and Arkansas always are in the SEC, where they're not a pushover team.
Right.
They were kind of like that, and then they had the year where they had Jackson Dart and they put it all together for Auburn, where they kind of just put everything together. They had years like that when they had Kenneth Walker and the years that they had Kirk Cousins.
What great years
MSU, they need to get back to that.
Yeah,
and Northwestern,
Le'Veon Bell and all those dudes.
When they had their guys, they put it all together. Where I think you're going to get those years back for MSU.
Yeah, absolutely. Man.
Going on to
Langford, who used to play for the Bears. Man, I had to think about that when I'm like, not Jordan Howard. What was his name? Langford. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other Big Ten running back.
Yes.
Stein to Kentucky. No.
Yeah.
There's just kind of nothing there. They've been kind of depleted recently.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it is what it is. It's Kentucky.
You're going to have to restart.
Yeah, you're trying to stabilize it. I think I got that mixed up. I thought it was Sloan that was the head coach. I think he's going there as the OC, the former OC of LSU. I don't like that at all. They're just, all they keep posting is like, he was the quarterback coach when Jaden Daniels won the Heisman. Shut up. I don't need to hear about that. You got no receivers. I don't even know who your quarterback is. You have some 26-year-old who was on Instagram flashing money, and you're like, dude, you've got more interceptions than touchdowns, Calzada. Like, what are you doing?
True.
Moron.
Now we get into the last couple. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Heartline to USF. Interesting from the pedigree that we kind of put Heartline in a couple years ago.
Yeah.
To where he can go to a very big school and he ends up at USF.
I think this is another one like with Chesney where they're going, even though they had a really solid year, they're going, you have total control and autonomy over the team, over the program. Build it how you like. And the thing is that even though he's coming from Ohio, he's a born and bred Ohioan, right? Ohio State is his alma mater. Why would you leave? Why wouldn't you take a bigger job? His nest egg for getting the players is Florida. Jeremiah Smith, Enos, Tate, all guys coming from American Heritage, St. Thomas. I mean, they're all coming from Florida.
He got Ryan Day to go to IMG all those years. He made sure Ryan Day, he got IMG on the map with Ryan Day.
Constantly
and
pitching
then Ryan
him
Day
guys.
started just absolutely loving kids from IMG Academy. And
why
a
not?
lot of that is due to Heartline.
Yeah. He has the direct pipelines to Florida, especially more than anything. And what are you going to do at South Florida but recruit Florida kids?
And honestly, this is a South Florida team that's getting, more backing.
Yeah.
They're getting more boosters this year because I got a couple people in Tampa telling me what's going on there. They're getting a new stadium.
Yep.
They're redoing a lot of stuff with this football program. It seems like they're starting to push their football program. They know what they're trying to do with it, and I think this head coach makes a statement in that USF is trying to be the next best team in Florida and give contention. In just the state, but obviously in their conference and with the new rules of the college football playoff, this could be a very good move for USF.
This could make them the new UCF, if you will. That's where I would put them right now.
I think this could make them the new Boise State.
That's another good one. I see all of those kind of in the same row, if you will, where like you're winning, you're dominating, but you're always going to be just a little bit. You're always going to be little brother to the big brothers, right?
And I think that's fine.
That's fine, and that's the thing is I look at this move.
There's places for that.
That's the thing. I look at this move for Heartland, and I say you get to cut your teeth as a head coach finally, and that's what I'm looking at this as. Is like, okay, he's looking at to me, I'm going. He's looking at a specific job somewhere, but he doesn't get it. So now it's like, okay, I'm going to go here, build my bones with a program that's winning, take it over, maybe make it a little bit nicer, a little bit prettier. Maybe they do a little bit better. And all of a sudden, when that job opens, he goes, yes, please. I have proven myself now as a head coach. Allow me to please be at the front of the line.
I got a couple names for you what could fit in there, but we'll get into that one in a couple of years when he's in that position.
We're in our fat mansions, baby. I'm just kidding.
This hack, Billy Napier, going to JMU.
Just really quick on this. I like the move because it's
interesting.
It's a good reset for him more than anything.
Yeah.
Get with a program that's been winning. They get a lot of nice kids that transfer in. They get a lot of the cleanups on the 2 and 3 stars that you never really hear about.
Smaller scale. He's going to frickin' Virginia. This isn't
you're
going to
back
be
to
like
your Louisiana Lafayette roots, kind of more than anything. So it's a good reset for him.
Out of the spotlight per se.
You get a chance to kind of reset yourself and maybe get a second chance at life as a head coach at a bigger program at some point. You're just going to have to kind of prove yourself all over again, which I think he can.
I'm not doubting that. He obviously proved himself at Louisiana.
It's just no one's going to probably jump at you like a Florida off the bat again because they're going, we've seen how that picture goes, unless you do miracles at James Madison.
Unless you get them to like the college football playoff a couple years.
Yeah, you have to do Signetti things. You have to do what Chesney's done this year. Where
you're gonna get a lower tier in a big conference. You're gonna get maybe like a Baylor type level, or something like that. You're not gonna get the big top schools in each conference, but you're gonna get those lower tier schools like like Baylor and maybe like an SMU,
Washington State, Oregon State.
Yeah, actually, the Pac-12 might be perfect.
Because, the Pac-12 is coming back, folks. Mountain West is doing the joint with the Pac-12 next year, so that conference is coming back a little bit.
Illinois, could be a name that could be thrown in there.
Could be.
Wisconsin, that's a name that could be thrown in. Like, I'm talking that level of school. Yeah. They're not the top tier in their conferences, but they're not the bottom tier in their conferences.
Always middle of the road, an opportunity to always compete.
And then, oh my God, breaking news. We're skipping over this last one. Tulane, cool. You're not going to replace your guy, but good enough.
I'm going to just say this right now. Blake Baker, it's not been in stone. It's just saying like they're finalizing. It's not yet confirmed. I'm going to say this. That kind of hurts LSU with the recruiting stuff. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say just real quick on that.
Skip over that.
Please.
Breaking news.
Yep.
Matt Campbell and Penn State are working toward a deal for the Nittany Lions to make him the next head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions. Multiple steps needed to finalize, including agreements on terms and formal approval of compensation. But breaking news from Pete Thamel.
That feels like lateral movement. Just boo. You know how like that flat line? It's a flat line.
This is bad on Penn State. I wanted to say this. This is before we now know who their head coach is.
Right.
But I want to get into this.
Yes.
Penn State lost everyone. They lost James Franklin, and they lost everyone. They ended up having a worse recruiting class than teams like South Dakota State. Harvard had a better recruiting class. Hold on, I'm pulling it up real quick.
A&M, I believe, had a better one.
UMass, Idaho, Sacramento State, South Alabama, Western Kentucky, Old Dominion, California Technical Poly, Troy, Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan, Northern Arizona.
There's
some schools in here that you question how they even get recruits. And Penn State has less than South Dakota State. They only had 3 confirmed recruits.
Correct. 2 that committed, by the way. Officially committed. We'll get to the Matt Campbell thing. Just to kind of sum up everything that happened here with Penn State. As somebody I was talking to stated to me, they said, I've never seen a program that once was so big come so close to extinction as Penn State has. And I have to agree, because I was like, no, they're not extinct. And then seeing how far they've fallen to this point, obviously now this may do something for them, but we'll get to that here soon. This was a moment where you went, wow, Penn State's really because you think about their history. This is a legendary program that has had legendary players. They've won national championships. They've been the best in the country many times over, even as of recent in the last 20 years even. This is a program that was picked to go to the national championship last year and then this year in the preseason.
This is a team when they had Christian Hackenberg at quarterback. They were still a top 5 team in the country.
Yeah, absolutely. They were talking about him being a first-round draft pick. So it's interesting. You look at the history, just the quick brief history of it, right? Paterno, the legend that he was and did everything. Then comes the Sandusky scandal. Everything falls apart. Bill O'Brien goes in there for a moment. I've always said that he was just waiting for the head coaching job in the NFL. He got one. He left. You bring in a James Franklin who really brings the culture of Penn State kind of to the front. They forget about Sandusky and not forgot about Paterno, but you can move on and say it's okay. And he brings guys like Trace McSorley. Thanks for the song that's stuck in my head. And the 400 emails we got, the Saquon Barkleys, the Jahan Dotsons, all these guys that they've now produced into the NFL. Defense, offense, first-round picks, superstars.
Penn State, the number 11 at Penn State, that reassured every single year.
The legends that are being built in that program when James Franklin is there in control makes the promising outlook of something beautiful will come. And it was. It was right there. The problem, I think, becomes they get on the doorstep at the cusp of, like, do we keep James Franklin or not? At the same time that Notre Dame is on the cusp of going, are we going to continue to keep Marcus Freeman? 2 schools in the same identical area, both needed to get to the national championship, I think, to progress their programs to the next level. And who comes out of it? Notre Dame. What did they just do this early signing day? They signed tied for first with 2 other schools for the most 5 stars in early signing day in their history. That's and I believe in the national signing day history too. So that shows you right there, making the national championship for Notre Dame has set them possibly on the path where you can go, I don't know if they're winning a title, but let's just say that right now their future looks bright.
Their future looks bright when it looked in peril.
Right, because like Penn State, Notre Dame, and other schools like UCLA, and many others, by the way, too, a lot of them have to always bank on, well, this is who we were and not who we are.
USC.
USC is a perfect one. USC is another perfect one. And you can say, well, but Penn State's you just said all these guys in the draft, and that's great. But when you're talking about college football, you want to see results at the bowl games against the big teams and going to a championship, especially if you're Penn State. If you're Ohio State, if you're Florida, if you're LSU, Notre Dame, you want to be in the big, you want to have your shot. USC, doesn't matter. You're one of those programs that we all talk about, the great history and the championships and all that stuff. You want to be there. So you got to get results. And Penn State, unfortunately, hit a wall with James Franklin. And now I think because of their athletic director, they possibly hit a wall because either he didn't want to give up Jim Knowles because they're paying him, and these other coaches maybe were like, I want to bring in my guys. He went, that's nice, but you have to keep him because we're paying him a lot of money. Well, that's a you problem. I'm the head coach. You're hiring me. I'm going to bring in my staff that I trust, and you're telling me I have to trust this guy that you hired? Maybe that's not it. Maybe there's more. Maybe it's just your track record is not proven to be great. Why should I trust you, the athletic director? Or maybe this is the conspiracy mind going. He's just trying to do his quote-unquote due diligence to be able to say, we're going to hire Terry Smith because that's the way we want to go because everybody seems happy with it. And if they're happy with it, I get to keep my job, which I don't think is going to happen by the end of next year anyways.
I mean, Penn State lost in recruiting a head coach to the Mormons.
That's the thing, right? You have a coach in Siake who said
probably would have fit perfectly.
He said that was one of his dream jobs, to be at Penn State.
Who wouldn't want to be at Penn State with all of the accolades you just named off?
And even with the money that we know now came from
the
Church of Latter-day Saints and Crumble Cookie and all this stuff, you would still look at BYU or Jeff Brom at Louisville or Brent Key at Georgia Tech and say, but Penn State's a bigger brand with more All-Americans and Heisman Trophy candidates and national championship pedigree and all this stuff.
Factory.
Yes, exactly. One of those top jobs that we should talk about, like an Ohio State, an Alabama, an LSU, a Florida, a Notre Dame, a USC, where you go there and you win, you succeed, you roll out the titles. But for some reason, you got a coach at BYU who says, well, I'll take the money, and also, I'm not interested. Okay, fine, you took the money. Brent Key and Jeff Brom, I can understand those. They're alma maters. I understand. You want to build those. You want to build the pedigree. Cool, that's fine. But that tells me then that there's something, the magic is now missing then from Penn State in terms of selling the job. You're trying to sell a past, not a present. You need to prove there's a present there that you can sell to these coaches. And now the problem is, like you just said, Scotty, look at all those teams that he just listed that they're underneath now because recruits went flying to the wind because James Franklin went to Virginia Tech, which, by the way, is a fantastic hire for Virginia Tech and a fantastic place for James Franklin.
Already, no matter what he does there, this is the best thing in Virginia Tech football since Michael Vick.
They're a top 25 recruiting team right now. All those guys
are Penn State guys.
They all went there.
They're all Penn State guys.
They have a future now already built into that program.
Virginia Tech will be
almost dead.
Virginia Tech is what we thought North Carolina was going to be when they got Bill Belichick. When we thought that they'd be this turnaround team and be in the college football playoffs, we're going to put them in the spotlight of everything. That's going to be Virginia Tech next year, but next year it will actually work.
It could be,
especially in the ACC.
If this year is any sort of signal on what the ACC is going to be, which I'm very scared that that's the case, they have a good legitimate shot to maybe win this thing as a 9-3 team, and that's sad to say.
Yeah, we'll get into
what has happened to my college football.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that one later.
Look, for Matt Campbell being hired by Penn State.
Yes, this is nuts. This is such a huge letdown.
It's a lateral move on James Franklin. In some regard, could it work? Sure.
I think it is a little bit of a spit in the face in front of everyone who is a Penn State fan, alumni, player, and current coach there, because they all vocalize that, hey, you didn't need to go on this whole search. You didn't need to go on this soul-searching journey. You could have just hired Terry.
You could have. You could have.
But you spat in his face. And you mentioned something a couple weeks ago. And this is important. You said that if they do decide to bring in any other coach, their first move should go to Terry and say, look, we want you to stay.
Yes. 100%.
I swear that should not happen anymore. He needs to go because he's so undervalued that he got pushed over time and time and time again.
Yeah.
This is insane that they went after so many head coaches and they pushed over the guy who it's not the ideal choice. Let's be honest. He doesn't bring in, he doesn't have the, Ryan Day, James Franklin, Brian Kelly type change to programs. No, he doesn't. But he's got the Penn State in him. And that's what Penn State's all about.
Yeah.
He had that for him. The players wanted him. The alumni wanted him. The boosters wanted him. And you passed him over time and time again. And now you're settled on Matt Campbell. Terry needs to go. And not that he needs to go, like Penn State needs to fire him. He needs to go because he needs to realize he was not respected there at Penn State for as much as he wanted to give them.
No. And this is the problem. Like, hiring Terry Smith, I understood because of, look, he had a decent level of success here down the stretch. Everybody loves him. The program was back behind him from everybody under the sun in State College and everybody that wears the blue and white. Even David. David was like, I respect him. It's just the matter of going, is he the Marcus Freeman kind of hire where you say from inside we have the right man? That's always been the key question, right? This, like you say, though, Scotty, this move is very much to Terry Smith like a thanks for the job. We're going to move on from you, though, and move forward. If he does decide to stay, wonderful, but it's going to make the locker room very divided, and it's going to possibly cause some issues. Not to say that's on Terry. That's, again, going to go to the AD craft for making this situation what it is. So I agree with you. Terry in this situation might need to say, listen, I love being here. I love this school. I played here. I've bled here. This is my home, but I think I need to move on. I know you guys want me to stay. I know that the players want me to stay. I know the boosters are asking me to stay, but if I'm not the head coach, it does feel like this is going to be a very weird situation. So I think unless he gets an offer that he cannot refuse from, where he's like the assistant head coach and has a lot of power right there with Matt Campbell. But again, that's going to create the weird dynamic.
I don't know if that's enough.
And that's the thing. I don't know if that's enough. So if I'm Terry Smith, I'd take my bags and I'd start looking at the Sun Belt Conference. I'd start looking at Division I AA, FCS. I'd start looking at Division II. Build that coaching pedigree up yourself. Prove you're a head coach at those smaller levels. Work your way up. Because I think he's got the charisma. If you even wanted to stay
in the Big Ten, go to like a Rutgers or something.
Seriously. Go to Michigan State.
Yeah.
Go with Pat. Go with Fitzy. They know each other. I know they know each other. They've met each other multiple times at the Big Ten meetings that they have up there in Rosemont. They've always been nice friends with each other.
True.
He's spoken very well about Fitzgerald and how much he's like, I love his mentality. I love his defense. I think they're closer in age or more or less or something like that. So, I mean, you've got two guys who, by the way, played not too far along from each other. Why not go join up with a dude that probably would be like, dude, I love what you do with defensive backs. Want to come do it over here? Tell me he wouldn't. And now, by the way, guess what that means? You get to poach from your alma mater.
True. Now, well, of what's left. What's left. Now, Matt Campbell.
Oh, my God.
Now, Matt Campbell.
Yes. You going to give me the rundown on him?
What does he actually bring to Penn State? Because let's be honest, coming from Toledo and Iowa State, what does he actually bring that's the step up to make him the Penn State head coach?
Right.
That's where when we're talking about this downgraded level of Penn State, this is what it is.
Yeah.
What has Iowa State done, and who have they put out that's on the level of Penn State?
Yeah.
David Montgomery, Brock Purdy.
I will say this: Matt Campbell has a feeling of like
the leader.
He
He's
feels
a leader.
Yes, he's a leader.
He
feels like
leader.
he can kind of drop the anchor and make sure that the boat's not flowing down the river towards the waterfall to go off the edge, right? There's something to him that does feel like you can get some clarity with him. But you are correct. The pedigree compared to him and Franklin and obviously other coaches that have came before him at Penn State, it's hard to match. The other thing I will say for Matt Campbell, too, is kind of what you just mentioned. A guy like a Brock Purdy and a guy like a David Montgomery. No one's really looking at those kids, and they go to an Iowa State, and they emerge as quality, I'm not saying top tier, but quality players that eventually have had success now at the next level, which is fine.
Every pro day, man, teams are rushing to Ames, Iowa,
of course,
to go look at their prospects.
Well, they're not rushing
every single year,
but every year you do get like half the NFL who's sending a scout or a coach is going there to say, look, they've got some athletes, so let's go take a peek, because you never know. There's a diamond in the rough potentially, right?
Again, but this is Penn State,
right? And that's the thing.
That's
from
the
Iowa
point.
to Penn State. Or I guess you say from Iowa State. I should really say
from Ames to
Iowa,
College Station.
To College.
There's no middle ground.
Yeah,
there's a long way to go.
There's a whole lot of dirt in between. I've been to Ames, by the way.
There's nothing.
I did nothing there. Thanks a lot, Josh, by the way. Oh, come over to Winterfest. We'll party. We didn't do anything. We didn't even sleep in your dorm. We had to I'm telling you right now, I went there with my buddies for a trip. His dorm, it was like that much room. We had to sleep in the theater.
That's
in
hilarious.
the theater room where you had the projection. Like homeless people. Oh, Ames, you disappointed me. Now, granted, I chose the wrong friend at that point. The wrong friend to trust. No longer is he in that friend group at all. Trust me.
So wrapping up Penn State.
Yes.
This is
a
baffling level.
There is
of fall off
potential, a small sliver of potential to surprise us, because perhaps this is a moment where you can go, okay, Matt Campbell's going to a school now where it's big time with big time resources. Perhaps he can start pulling off some miracles. Perhaps. But right now, it's a the smallest crack of light is shining through that very blacked out curtain right now that would say that this program is all but done and over with.
And a lot of that
it's just small.
And a lot of that has to do with the fact that basically right now, you're going to have to reset the program. Which is nuts for a school like Penn State.
You're starting from ground zero.
You need to start back from ground zero because you've only pulled 3 guys at early signing day. You're going to have all of these guys leave in the transfer portal.
This is probably going to be a UNC overhaul. We're going to have to bring in 60-plus transfers, 70-plus transfers to fill out the roster. Because like David and I were talking about on Wednesday, Penn State could be walking away and could have a fielded team, full roster on the sidelines of 60 guys.
Honestly.
And for a program like that, you should be at 100-plus. 90 to 100-plus any given day.
Honestly.
Because
let me tell you something. When Brian Kelly left Notre Dame and when Nick Saban left Alabama, these types of moves, nothing compares to what Penn State's going through right now.
No.
Nothing.
Some guys left those programs,
Some guys left, but not everyone.
Not everyone.
Not going from 25 commits to 3.
Yeah. This is where, going back to the Lane Kiffin thing, brand loyalty has really fallen off. Because where did they all go? Virginia Tech. Who's at Virginia Tech? James Franklin. Who did Penn State fire? James Franklin. So what's the connection? They believe in the coach.
Yeah.
They believe in the coach and not the brand. So, I do wish the best of luck to Matt Campbell.
I like you said,
see what happens.
The potential's at least there.
It's just, like you said,
gotta restart.
You're starting from the ground up. Maybe he gets lucky.
Maybe. Last thing, you look at like LSU and Penn State being in the same position. They had to fire their head coach. They were supposed to be in the national championship conversation.
Yeah.
Literally 2 ends of the spectrum.
Seriously.
LSU looks like, hey, they might even turn around in year 2. They could even turn around in year 1 if they get that good of a class.
They might.
They got the structure there all ready to go. And then you have Penn State. Like everything we just mentioned.
Get Lamar Brown signed right now. I'm number one player in the country, get his signature written in blood. Bleed if you need to. Please help me. I'll say this right now just for one last thing on LSU. His name is Elijah Haven. He's right there in Baton Rouge. If you don't get that 5-star recruit quarterback, I'm coming for you. I will personally drive there and drive you to the campus, Elijah Haven, even though I know it's like a block away.
You want to take a quick break? You want to just
we can keep going.
You want to just
I'm
keep
fueled.
going?
I'm fired up.
All right,
we can keep
so
going. Let's get to the NFL. We got some NFL stuff. Let's talk here, folks, because we have a lot of time since the other boys aren't going. So let's talk about the NFL real quick. So obviously, we did take the week off for Thanksgiving. We got some Thanksgiving games that are going on here that kind of shocked us. One of them, obviously, was not on Thanksgiving. It actually was on Black Friday, but I counted it as like a Thanksgiving game nevertheless. The Bears played a game against the Eagles where, honestly, I know we didn't do the pick six for it. If I could have said, I thought the Eagles were going to blow them out, kind of like how the Ravens blew out the Bears beforehand and gave them their third loss. What happened? What? I don't know. I don't know what happened. I still don't know what's happening. Because Scotty's pressing buttons and not realizing things are changing. Yeah. You're hitting the keystrokes that are changing. Yeah. Nope. There you go. You're good. You're good, amigo. No, because there's certain keystrokes that are attached to the TriCaster. That's why. Did I not explain that to you when I was training you? I did put lower thirds in there. Oh, my bad. Okay. All right. Yeah, look, folks, if you're wondering, the Bears obviously kind of coming out of the blue and just having a field day against the Eagles and really solidifying that push of, yep, they found the right head coach. Yep, this is the guy. Yep, he knows exactly what to do at the right moment, at the right time, when it's necessary. Because this was a game, again, I thought it was going to be a blowout. Oh, it's the Eagles. They just won the Super Bowl. Yeah, they're struggling, but come on, this should be a team they should easily be able to conquer. And I'll save the little Eagles part at the very end here, but just for the Bears' sake, the Bears kind of in the beginning looking like they're right there with the Eagles. They make flip adjustments, and all of a sudden, they're full go. And it doesn't seem like they can be stopped. Blocking is amazing. Running is like just chop after 6'5" yards in pieces with Monangai and with Swift. It is a brand of football that we have seen from the Bears before, but not seen, I think, so efficiently since Lovey's first couple of years.
No.
Not even. I know you can't even say that because Cedric Benson was a big piece of garbage.
Andrew, there is nothing that compares to what kind of team the Bears are playing like right now, and the culture that they have right now. This is almost unheard of.
This is, the C word. I know, culture. Nick doesn't like that word, but they have identity. If you want to use a different word, they have something that finally makes them feel like. It's not bare bones. There's no confusion. They know who they are. And even you watch this game and you go, all right, Caleb once again is not playing well. But when he's not playing well, everybody else around him is. And when he still needed to come up with the big play, he comes up with a fantastic rollout and a great throw right into the hands of Cole Kmet for a touchdown. And that just accentrifies why the Bears are number one in big play opportunities capitalized on in the NFL, more so than any other team right now in the NFL. They are now the number one rushing team in the NFL. When's the last time you ever heard him say that?
I know, and this is what I mean. Like when I say to people, it's like, look, you don't need to put the expectations on this team right now. That's not the point you need to take out of it.
Enjoy the ride.
Hey, this is a fun team to watch. Don't put the expectations on there. Be happy that there's a graphic that shows the Bears in first place in something.
Seriously. And the thing is like, again.
It's sad to say, but, like, honestly, just enjoy it because 2018, that went away. Yeah. That went away quick.
It disappeared very fast. And, again, offensive-minded guy who stepped in and kind of seemed to be setting. The only problem is that, obviously, passion didn't seem to be there. And I think the chops just weren't there for what people believed Matt Nagy had. And and obviously, again, quarterback and coach just did not connect. This, you can say quarterback and coach may not connect. It's like, yeah, but coach is adjusting everything to help the quarterback. So even still, where Caleb may not be having a season like Drake Mays, or even like what we've seen still with a guy like Bo Nix, looking at him across the field with these other guys in this sophomore year, where, yeah, guys are struggling because of injury and stuff like that. This is still a class where I look at it and go, outside of 2 guys right now that are still question marks, one of them right now might be moving far to the level of a bust. But
9?
Yeah, 9, yeah. Maybe not the best nickname, by the way. You are a very white dude in Minnesota where there's a lot of German people. Yeah. It's a light brown, could be blonde in the right light, you know. But
what I kind of like about this group that's kind of turned it around is especially with their quarterbacks, you kind of have all 3 levels.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
You have the Patriots who've turned it around. They're first place in their division, in a division where the Bills are right there.
Yeah.
You know, obviously they've taken a step down, but somehow the Patriots are first. Obviously, you can point out a lot of glaring stuff about that. That defense isn't a complete defense.
Right.
You could point out that they've played literally nobody, but that's not the point. They have Drake May, who's going to be in contention for the MVP. He's on that upper tier of that draft class of quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And look at how they've turned the Pats around.
Yeah.
You got the Bears. Look how they've been turned around with all those stuff you just mentioned. And Caleb's going in and out of being a very, very good quarterback. And still, he's got some stuff he needs to work on. Nothing that's like detrimental,
right,
but he's definitely in the middle pack of it.
I think what Caleb, and I will say, I will even give some to J.J. McCarthy, even though I know his struggles maybe go beyond this. I think you're looking at 2 quarterbacks in their sophomore year who are trying to learn a lot of things very quickly because it's kind of their first year, if you will, stepping in with their new systems, where Caleb had at least a chance to kind of sit and learn one system, and now you can say he's with a coach who's like adjusting things on the fly and everything works to his advantage. JJ's kind of in this area where he's with a coach that I think can make those adjustments, but I think JJ is just, there's a ceiling that he's hitting with his skill set.
You got to get up to Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah.
And JJ needs to prove that.
Exactly. And that's the thing is he's trying to learn a lot of things as well, but where he's, I think, learning things, he's trying to learn them on the fly, and then when he's trying to execute, he doesn't have the same that same athletic prowess that we've seen with a Sam Darnold or with even a Daniel Jones to execute everything. It's just why kind of like he's still also playing like he's still in college, like handing the ball off a lot and limiting your throws and trying to limit your mistakes. Problem is, though, is that this is a team that was built last year on they were leading the NFL in big plays. They were one of the teams that were, I mean, look at how good Justin Jefferson was last. They had 2 wide receivers that easily could have hit over 1,000 yards apiece.
Yeah, by the way, Justin Jefferson's going to be a 3rd-round draft pick next year in fantasy football, so just so you guys know. It's going to be a 3rd-round draft pick. That's going to be an insane 3rd-round pick. But back to what I was saying about
also, if you want to join the Cincinnati Bengals, we are more than happy to have you here in Cincinnati. Come join your brothers. Joe Brady, come on, baby. You know you want to.
Then what I'm saying, like back to like the 3 tiers of it, you have Bo Nix, who obviously out of the 3 has looked the worst, but there's still something there that's gotten them the wins and has turned their team around. So there's at least something there. You have like the 3 tiers of teams that have turned their guys around with second-year quarterbacks.
He makes me so...
He's infuriating to watch.
He plays like Tim Tebow for the first 3 quarters, and then he plays like Tim Tebow in the 4th quarter in 2009. And I can't explain it, other than to say it's Sean Payton. It's got to be Sean Payton, and I'm guessing I would say too, Bo Nix just being kind of more of a veteran in that quarterback position, because he doesn't seem to be like standoutish.
No, he doesn't. He seems to be very run-of-the-mill.
Yes, down to earth. If we need to run the ball, we'll run the ball. If we need to throw the ball, short routes, let's do short routes. If we need to launch it, let's launch it.
He'd probably look a lot better if he didn't have a hurt JK and then an RJ Harvey who just doesn't seem like he can run the ball that well.
Yes. And they're doing this, by the way, without Patrick Surtain on the other side.
That's true.
Of the ball.
And I think also, back like the three levels things, you have 3 different levels of coaching. You have probably the greatest coaching staff in the NFL right now in Denver, with everyone they have at all levels.
Seriously.
You know, they have future candidates everywhere for head coaching positions and coordinator positions.
Absolutely.
You have that everywhere there. Vance Joseph's getting looked at again. Remember how that went?
You look at his body of work.
True. Then New England, you have another proven head coach in Mike Vrabel, took the Titans, coach of the year, playoff winner.
Yeah.
And then you have Ben Johnson, who, yes, great offensive guru for the Lions. Look at how suspect they are without him.
Yeah.
But it's his first year. He's got to go and prove out there how good of a coach he actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's proven pretty good so far.
The proof is in the pudding right now, and it's tasting real good. If you have a little teaspoon of it, it's tasting real good. People want seconds and thirds.
It's very interesting the like, if you had like a 3 Venn diagram of what kind of is different and similar about all these teams. They're so intertwined with each other.
Correct.
But yet all 3 of these teams are so different in what their success is.
They are unique, and yet there is a core where you can all kind of connect them to and say, well, this is probably one of the biggest reasons why they're having the success. And I have to attribute it to me, I'm attributing it to the fact that there seems to be, between head coach and young quarterback in sophomore year, there is a connection where the two are communicating. Yes, Vrabel's not an offensive-minded coach, but he's talking with Drake May after every set. He's having a quick conversation with him. Ben Johnson's always communicating with the quarterbacks, especially with Caleb Williams, in some regard, right? Sean Payton has grabbed Bo Nix and brought him over to him, even when Bo Nix like, I'm just getting water real quick, coach, chill. Like, the fact that these guys are going out of their way to make sure that they are as prepared as possible says everything about why these teams are having this success I think they are. Yes, there are other factors as well, too. But I think they become kind of like a core. If anything, you can say they are one of the pillars on the foundation that these coaches have built to why they are successful, and it's a pillar that is holding strong. Regardless of how bad they play, they keep these teams in the fight, and a lot of times they've also been the reason why they've won. And you can't deny that.
And also, it brings teams that were at the bottom, it brings them to another, the next step.
Right.
It's the progression that you're seeing. You know, I think a lot of us said here, especially about the Commanders, like maybe making the conference championship was a detriment to them.
Could have been.
Because look at how much they've stepped back. Granted, Jane Daniels got hurt, but look at how much they've stepped back. This is 3 teams that have just made the next step and maybe skipped over one.
Yeah.
And not skipped over 4 to 5 to get to where they're at. This is just, you make the next step, all right, make the next one. Keep progressing.
Yeah.
Where are you going to get to now? All 3 of these teams, if you're a fan of them, just be happy where they're at.
Yeah.
You don't need to leave expectations on these teams.
Absolutely.
Because this is just the next stage of progression. Now, Andrew, I got a question for expectations for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is Joe Burrow here to save their season?
I don't know. I don't have your answers. I put this on here because everybody emailed me questions under the sun about your boy Joe's back, and he just whooped on the Ravens. What does this mean? Are they winning? Everybody was asking me if they're going to win the division now, and I said, maybe, I don't know, possibly, no, not happening, possibly, maybe. I just gave every answer because I don't know why the AFC North decided to become the ACC of the NFL, but no one seems to want to be good enough to win the division, and everyone's just saying, well, it's got to be the Steelers, but the Steelers clearly don't want it because their biggest move so far is to get Adam Thielen.
Remember when Tyler, do you remember the year when the NFC East, like every team in the NFC East was at like 4 wins at one point?
Yeah, they call it the NFC least.
Yeah, and then somehow I think it was the Eagles or Cowboys, like one of them just surprisingly got to like 9 wins, and it was kind of like that came out of nowhere. But like for the longest time, everyone was at like 4.
Yeah,
like that's what you're getting with the
This is
going to
be the year this could be the year where that division ends up being like a losing team does win the division at 8-9. That's how bad everyone's been playing so far. So yeah, it's possible that the Bengals may have their season saved because Burrow's going to play if he's capable of it. He's going to play if he's capable of it because that's just who he is. And I respect that on him. I respect that.
Hey, coming off the injury, right? And I mean, we learned so much about turf toe in the last 2 months.
God.
I mean, some of the stuff he was doing, I was actually kind of impressed.
Yeah.
Like, dealing with the injury he was going through. Some of the plays he was making, I'm like, it looks like he hasn't lost a step at all.
He did something that I've only seen with guys like Drew Brees and Tom Brady, where he threw to 10 different players during that game. That says something about where he's at as a quarterback. And I think him being out there, you can say anything you want bad about the Ravens. Yeah, they're struggling offensively, sure. But that defense all of a sudden stepped up in big ways. They didn't make every play, but it's kind of like I've said with the Bears. They made plays when it counted, and that's really where the impact of the game was felt, right? You get the sack, you get the tackle for loss, you bat away the pass, you deflect it at the right time. It's all those little things that eventually add up and count to where you're saying, wow, 32-14 against the Ravens. This is supposed to be a blowout for the Ravens. And you go, no, actually the Bengals find a way to win. So I think Burrow can do it. I think the Bengals can even do it. Does it save Zach Taylor's job? I'm hoping not, because I really want Joe Brady. I've talked myself into this. I want this.
I
want this.
I will say, though, if they're not going to make the playoffs, this might be the kind of Steelers equivalent where they're not good enough to get there, but not bad enough to kind of reset some stuff. Because, I mean, we were talking a couple months ago that the Bengals could have like a top 10 pick and maybe closer to 5, and they get a guy like Caleb Downs or something, some deal like that.
Please.
Now we're talking they might end up with like the 14th pick, and you're kind of like in the middle of nowhere in this draft right now.
Trade up and get Caleb Downs. Please. I was going to say, I know I didn't put it in there for the Steelers.
I want a point on this. Someone came out and said...
Like he hasn't had a point already today.
Someone goes, there's a surprise coaching firing that could happen. A long-tenured NFL player. A long-tenured NFL coach. Who's the only long-tenured NFL coach right now? It's Mike Tomlin.
I mean,
no, I would just instantly knew it was Mike Tomlin.
I mean, there is Sean McVay, and there is...
he's not long-tenured.
I'm going to say this for Mike Tomlin. If the Steelers are smart, you trade him. You trade him, and you trade him to Tennessee.
Poor Tomlin.
Because they both need a refresh. They both need a new start.
Poor Tomlin.
And I think going to Tennessee, you get a lot of control in Tennessee to build it how you want it.
Tennessee, 9-8 Super Bowl, baby. Woo!
You get Tennessee, who gets stability. They get a coach that they can work with. And guess what? The Steelers get some high draft picks. Because you're going to probably have to give up a second-round pick at least for him. Like a second and a third, I would say, to get a Mike Tomlin as your coach, and probably pay up a couple million in cash. And the Steelers then go get to reset their program. And guess who they should go get? They should go get the man up in Seattle, Klubnik. Hire Clint Klubnik as the young offensive OC to step in there. Go find your quarterback, maybe.
Clint Kubiak?
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
Get the young man. Go get the young OC. Wow, look at what he's doing in Seattle.
True.
Jackson Smith and Jigba is possibly on the verge of having 2,000 yards, which is nuts.
Well, that's if you want to completely change the way the Steelers are. If you want to kind of stay the same way.
No, you change the way the Steelers are.
If you kind of want to stay the same way as they are, but maybe just get a younger head coach, there is a defensive coordinator in Minnesota who could probably use another head coaching position.
Brian Flores did coach there for a little while. That's true. You're paying so much for defense. Go offense. Just go offense.
True. And then, honestly, up until last night, this meant something. But last night, they kind of got exposed that this team's just not good enough.
That's the thing. I don't know where they're at still. Like, I feel like they're still good enough where they can compete, but the defense is just... There's points where I look at the defense and I go, man, they're stepping up, and then all of a sudden I go, man, they're backing off. And then the offense all of a sudden, and the highlight of where the offense might be at is you got Dak Prescott, who I thought was hitting some dimes out there and some really spectacular plays. And then he's got one where he just outthrows CeeDee Lamb on the sidelines. And then I don't know what happened on this play, but it looked like George Pickens beat the double coverage.
No, he just gave up on that ball. That needs to be looked at.
He just gave up on trying to catch that ball. Thanks, by the way.
That's like Victor Snow at Buffalo type deal. Like
he catches that's a touchdown. And that's points for my team.
Which, did you see that, by the way, Victor Snow at Buffalo?
Yeah, I did.
That was nuts.
Yeah.
Vegas is getting these players.
I want to believe that this team has enough juice that they could actually make a playoff run, and I still think they can.
They do,
but they're at a point where it's do or die now.
They do, because Dak Prescott's their quarterback, and Dak Prescott is good
He's
enough.
playing like an MVP.
Is good enough to get your team in that kind of contention.
Yeah.
He needs everything else around him to get him higher than that.
Yeah.
And I think there's a little bit of a caveat why I don't think this Dallas situation is that bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's because it's Shoddy's first year.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, I think this is another good. Obviously, it's a step down and not where the Dallas Cowboys need to be.
Right.
But for a first-year head coach to at least get the guys around him, get them playing for him, and show the level that the Cowboys can play at, it's a good start of it. It's like a little bit of light in like a downgrade, because obviously going from the playoffs to, hey, you're not really gonna make it this year, more than likely. I guess there's still a chance they could, but they need a lot.
They're in that hunt, and yeah, they need a lot of things to go right. It always feels like it felt like they're for the stretch that they were on, right? And obviously beating the Chiefs the way they did on Thanksgiving, which none of us, I think, saw coming. The fact that you were down as far as you were, and all of a sudden they came back, and what a comeback it was. I give them a lot of props and a lot of credit. It just feels like after that, it's like, well, Dallas is going to be in every game. They're going to be fighting for an opportunity to be a winning team, go to the playoffs, and maybe make some noise. But we've always said that, right? Anytime they've crossed the 9-win threshold, we always feel like we say that. Now they crossed the 6-win threshold, and we're saying that about them because we feel like we got to give them maybe a little bit of extra something, because maybe they're special, or maybe they're not. And that's the problem. They have hit that point at the crossroads of the NFL where you're either going to be good enough to make a playoff run and maybe be able to fight with a team in the playoffs. I still don't think they're going to win the game. Or now is the point where the Dallas drop-off happens at the end of the year like it has in the past, and they just start to lose the games that they should be winning because they're not making the spectacular anymore, or guys get hurt, or whatever the case may be. So I just wanted to throw that in there because before we went to break, I was going to give all of these, hey, attaboy, Dallas, hey, you're looking good. Like, I was actually going to give the boys props. And now, instead of being like, how about them Cowboys, I'm like, how about them Cowboys? Like, the tone's changed now. And I want to give them their flowers where their flowers and their credit is due, but you can't give it fully to them. Like, you got to cut the heads off the daisies and just give them the stems. Just give them the stems. You can't give them the heads of the daisies. They still got to earn the actual flower in and of itself. Put it in a pot, sell them. It looks nice, but you can't get them yet until you prove something. So we'll see. At this point, the Eagles are playing bad enough that they could actually lose out and Dallas could win the division.
Fire Kevin Petula.
What's up?
Fire Kevin Petula.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Calling from him, please.
By the way, can I just say, well, yes, the video was funny. You are fully grown men who drove to a man's house and threw eggs at him because you are so mad about a football team that, yes, I know you're fans of, but is it really that big of a thing? By the way, you made a video of it. You don't think they're going to catch you at some point?
So I saw a prediction.
Adults are stupid. Like, oh my God.
I saw a prediction and a hypothetical, and I want your opinion on it.
Okay.
The Eagles figure out that it's not A.J. Brown. It might be Jalen Hurts is the problem.
Which it sounds like that could be the case from anonymous sources.
And they trade him.
Oh.
Is there any... I think, for me, it's tough to get there. It's tough to deny a Super Bowl MVP and two-time Super Bowl champion. It's kind of tough.
Well, one-time Super Bowl champion.
One time. But...
Two-time Super Bowl goer, one-time Super Bowl winner.
But...
Yeah.
I mean, there might be a case there. I feel like that maybe giving in to fans a little bit too much. Maybe not fans of the Eagles, but, like, the fan view of the team. But, hey...
It's an interest.
That's interesting.
It's an interesting and kind of an exciting idea to put out there. I don't know if they would do it because of the money that's invested in him. And it would then be the question of, well, what team does he go to? Because my immediate thought would go to, well, he'd go to the Colts with Steichen. But they have Daniel Jones, which is working right now, so why would you need him? Like
New Orleans.
New Orleans would be one. Arizona maybe another.
Honest, let's be honest. New Orleans is bad.
Yeah.
But in this draft, is there enough that really changes it and they really need a quarterback?
Yeah.
No, not really.
Not really. No.
Not really. We've talked about how
Fernando
the
Mendoza has
are.
the build, but I still see him as Kenny Pickett right now. I can't get past that. And I'm not trying to slight the kid. It's just a lot of what he does right now feels like what we saw with Kenny Pickett coming out of Pitt. It doesn't mean he can't be great. Doesn't mean he can't even be good. It's just there's a question mark again on him, especially +2. We don't know if the other quarterbacks are necessarily locked into the draft or not. So either way, trading Jalen Hurts, you could get a nice haul back. It just depends on who you're sending him to.
I think one of the three needs to go. One of the three needs to go. It's either Nick, AJ, or Jalen. One of the three needs to go.
I think there's a lot of in-house fighting that we're not hearing about. It's the behind closed doors. There's arguing and blame going around. The only guy I would say that's probably not doing it, and this is just my speculation, is Saquon. Because I look at him every time, and he just looks so disappointed by himself. And the only thing I could think of is somewhere a cartoonist has to be putting a thought bubble in Philly going, I got to get out of here, man. Because at this point last year, he was at over 1,700 rushing yards. Right now, he sits at 1,000 less than that. It is baffling that arguably the best player on your team and one of the best players in the NFL is not anywhere near his stride. And the only thing I can come up with is you got away from the guy. The guy that was there who changed the fortune of the offense now left for New Orleans, and now you brought in-house counsel that unfortunately is trying to say more pass, less run, and it isn't measuring out. See what happens.
Want to go back to college football?
Let's do it. Let's skip that. Let's go to the pick six here. Let's all right. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this rankings
Let's
thing.
talk about this very obvious thing that people are somehow making to be the most controversial opinion on social media right now about the college football rankings.
So there's the rankings right now. Those are the top 10 teams in. And then, of course, the last two are to be determined by who are the highest-ranked conference champion winners, which could be anybody at this point. James Madison could get in.
Virginia could get in.
Virginia could get in, or they could lose to Duke, and James Madison's in with North Texas and or Tulane. Anything goes in those last two spots. But it's that one above the 12 and 11 that everybody's talking about. Their name be Notre Dame.
Well, I would also say that's also number 9 as well.
Yes, Alabama is now getting mentioned in that as well.
Number 9 is the out of example because they never played each other.
Correct.
But yes, this Miami-Notre Dame situation is nuts.
The Notre Dame-Miami situation, obviously, I'm going to carve my 2 pounds of flesh. I'm getting mine too. It's obviously, this is going to be debated till the national championship is over on who should have been in. If you ask me right now, who do you think should be in? I'm on the side of put Miami in there. I'm on that side. In the head-to-head, they won. They've beat more top 25 teams on the winning record. Yes, Notre Dame looked good in those losses. And yes, Miami should get descended upon for losing to unranked teams for sure. I'm not taking that away from them. But the head-to-head, the strength of schedule being so close, and quite frankly, the way that Miami whooped on Pittsburgh, even though I know Notre Dame whooped on Pittsburgh too, but in a completely different fashion has this Miami team looked from the beginning of the year to where they seem to be stuck in a rut, and all of a sudden Carson Beck and this offense looks like they're back in form, where Notre Dame, it's still the same thing over and over. And look, I love Jeremiah Love. I am in full support of he is the Heisman frontrunner, because I think he's just had the season of seasons to prove that a running back, by the way, it's the 10th year where a running back usually wins the Heisman. So it just feels like where two quarterbacks are kind of doing, he's the guy that's kind of been like, that's the guy that should probably win.
And he barely plays the third quarter.
And he's splitting time with another running back. So he could probably have over 2,000 yards by now. if you wanted it. Like, that's the thing. But at the same time, I'm watching Miami. I'm watching Notre Dame. These are two great brands that I know the college football playoff probably would love to throw in there. But because of whatever rules, regulations, whatever their own personal things are that they want to put teams in there, somebody has to be left out. And the thing that...
It's two things.
Scotty?
It's either Notre Dame makes them way too much money, or this committee has no actual standards on how to put teams in the college football playoff. Because this is why I say that this is also an Alabama type thing. Mm-hmm. Because you look at Alabama, and they're like, oh, the reason we put Alabama above teams like Miami and Notre Dame is because they showed one drive last week with the tenacity of a national championship level team. So that's why we put them higher.
Yeah.
What kind of standard is that? One drive against a 5-7 Auburn team makes them a national championship worthy team.
Right.
What kind of standards do we have?
I agree with you. I think both are answers. You could say all of the above. I would also throw in a third one in that because they are the national championship runner-up, there is a little bit of a probably like, well, wouldn't it be nice if we could kind of give them another good little run here and maybe they could kind of be the little engine that could? The issue I have still with Notre Dame, and I've heard it from everybody, and I've been very boastful about this, and I've gone back and forth with my buddy Tom McKinney, who is a diehard Notre Dame fan, is that they need to join a conference. I'm sorry if you feel that they can stay independent and all this stuff, but when I look at all the factors, it just falls down to they are allowed to stay in the fight, stay in that opportunity to be in the college football playoff whilst not putting anything on the line and still being rewarded when other teams are getting knocked out because of the fact that you have Bama and Georgia playing each other, and there's a likelihood that if Georgia beats Bama, Bama could find itself out of the playoff completely, right? And other teams have a chance to move in and or move up. And that's the thing, is that I understand that this is a program that is historic. It's legendary. It's wonderful that they're in. It's going to make them a lot of money. That there are some great players on that team. Jeremiah Love, you want stars. You want your Heisman Trophy winner maybe in the college football playoff. No, I completely understand all of that. I completely understand the rhetoric, and I understand the storyline and all that stuff, but this is not WWE. We need to follow a storyline. This is football, where in football you can let things go and play out and happen and try to formulate a proper way to decisively figure out how to put teams in. And unfortunately for me, when I look at Notre Dame, I look at those two losses, which they lost those games only by a field goal, if anything, on those two games. They still ended up giving away the ball game very early on in the first 2.5, if not 3 quarters of that game. So they were down big and then eventually had to try and rally at the end when it was already too late against Miami and against A&M. So, again, your argument, while I understand it, for me, it gets invalidated because of that factor when you're saying, well, they were down, sure. Yeah, but they were down 21-7.
Ooh, Andrew.
Yes, Scotty, you have another question.
And they won't join a conference because if they did, they'd join the Big Ten and or any other conference, and they'd have to lose their media rights deal that just makes them so much more money.
Yeah, I know, because they have their own signature media rights deal that obviously they get to, sign with everybody and anybody they want to and make. And I get it. I get it. Look, college football has always been a business at its core. No matter how we've wanted to pitch it as, it's a game, it's a business.
Look, if Notre Dame was how they used to be, where, yes, it does come into, if Notre Dame was how they used to be, where you had to be Irish and you had to be Catholic to play on the team,
yeah,
maybe a different story.
Right.
But they're not that anymore.
No.
They're trying to be like Alabama. They're trying to be like Clemson, so treat them like
the white collars no longer run the school. There are actual people that are educated officials running this university. And listen, it's a beautiful university. It's a wonderful school. It's hard for this school to have attracted athletes the way they have in the past because of the fact that for a long time they've been nothing more than their past. Like we talked about with Penn State, it's just now going to the national title. Like I said, you see them go to the national championship. They don't win it, but you see them in there, and that gets these top recruits to start saying, we want to go to Notre Dame. Lock in their stock and barrel. They have the money to be able to pay these guys an NIL. I understand. It makes total sense. It makes total sense. But this is a program that at its core this year, comparative to Miami, they are both, I would say, on very similar ground. You can make an argument for either one. I just think when you look at it at the end of the day, the head-to-head, and you look at how they've performed against their top-ranked talent, I would still say that Miami stretches out over Notre Dame.
Honestly, Andrew, I don't think there is that much of a, you could go either way. As a fan of Notre Dame, it is clearly Miami because of that head-to-head, and then the schedule similarities with them playing the similar teams.
Mm-hmm.
Miami clears them.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. This is why the committee is just stupid.
I think
in the same breath, you can also say it's stupid that the group of 5 teams just get in when maybe they're not even good.
Well, and this is where a group of 5, I think, needs its own playoff system. Honestly,
what if they adopted like the FCS?
That's what I'm thinking is that you have to find a way to kind of, I think, take Power 4, Power 5 when the Pac-12 maybe gets back. We'll see where they're at. And find a way to be able to say, we need to separate these groups from the rest of the group of 5 or however you want to call it and figure out how to adjust that so that – and look, I hear what a lot of people say on that too where everyone's going, well, isn't that giving everybody a trophy, making everybody a winner? Kind of. But at the same time too – like, there's a clear difference between what we've just been talking about with these coaching things where you see James Madison's here and then Ohio State is like right there. Like, they're the 33rd NFL team, right? What is so funny?
I'm crying.
Why are you crying?
The World Cup draw's happening.
World
Cup draw's happening.
Oh, okay.
USA got Australia and, was it Paraguay? Is that how you say it?
Paraguay?
Yeah. Brazil, Morocco, Scotland.
It's nice knowing you, Scotland. I mean, not like I was really giving them much of a chance anyways, but, like, nice knowing you. Sorry, folks.
It's so much more expensive because it's going to be against Brazil.
Oh, so that's what this is really about. This is Scotty's chance to go to a World Cup. Disappearing before his eyes because he can't watch the games now.
And my family, because my family's coming over for it.
I know. I remember you said something about it a while back, but I'm sorry, Scotty. I mean, you may have to go to a pub and watch it with the rest of the people and be like, they made it. Scotland made it. I can't
they at least made it.
Scotland made it. Go. We need the haggis. Whatever. What do they eat? I don't know. It's the sheep intestines or something like that.
Let's pick the 6.
Yeah, let's pick the 6. Let's do it, folks. Pick 6. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing the pick 6. It's the top 6 games of the week. Obviously, this is conference championship week. We've got 5 conference championship games, I say, to watch out for, and we got 1 NFL game that really kind of feels like it counts. There's a few others, but this is the one that I feel like really does count. Roll them through, Scotty. Let's go. The first one we got.
Number 24. North Texas versus number 20, Tulane.
This is the American Championship Conference game, folks. Right now, as it stands, I believe it is Tulane that is favored because all of a sudden my phone decided to quit on me, folks, so I apologize. We're so ready for this, can't you tell? My phone just quit on me like dead right. So, yeah.
Well, Andrew,
yeah.
This is tonight, right?
I am a professional, I swear.
This game's tonight, right?
Yes, the game is tonight.
North Texas 2.5.
Yes, North Texas is 2.5 points. The over-under's at 66.5. So, who you got, Scotty?
I don't know, because both teams are going to lose their head coach, so which one is...
Well, but both are being allowed to coach,
they're coaching
from what I
rest
understand.
Of the season?
I believe so. They're allowed to finish out the season. Summerall, I believe, is. I can't say for sure if Morris is, but it doesn't sound like Morris is at OK State yet.
I'm going to back my Florida guy and go Tulane.
Okay.
So I'm going to take Tulane, obviously, so I can't go with there on the spread to cover. And then I am going to go under. Sneakily under.
Okay. I'm also going to take the under, just under, because it's still North Texas and they're a scoring machine. I will take North Texas on it, though. But I only will take North Texas on this probably by like 4. It's a solid matchup. I believe both coaches are in this, which means you're going to see 2 future Power 4 coaches coaching against each other while they're still in Group of 5, which is awesome. I think it should be exciting, compelling. This could end up being maybe the best game of the week. We'll see. Because some of these sound good, but I got a feeling there's going to be some lopsided victories potentially. So
yeah.
Let's get to those, by the way, because we got number 11 BYU against number 4 Texas Tech.
Dude, the Mormons had a week, man. The Mormons had a week.
Oh, they did. They paid their coach, and everyone's riding high and happy right now.
Tyler, do you like crumble cookie?
Did you know that the guy's a billionaire? Because I didn't.
Did you know that Crumble Cookie's a Mormon company? I did not know that before this week.
Yeah, that's who's paying Siatake. I can't get his name right. Siakate, I think is how you say it. The head coach for BYU, because he was saying, "Oh, I want to go to Penn State," and all of a sudden, the Church of Latter-day Saints, aka the Mormons, and Crumble Cookie came out of nowhere and apparently dropped a very fat load of cash in front of him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to stay at BYU." So, just so everyone's clear.
Speaking of, I think their week kind of ends with this tomorrow. Although, hey, we predicted at the beginning of the year that the Big 12 was going to be the best conference, and this is living up to it.
I'm pleasantly surprised, I will say.
I actually don't think this is going to be a blowout. I think
Okay.
that 12 is a little bit too much. I think they could keep it to maybe like 7 or 8.
Okay.
Where at least it's still a 1 score.
Yeah.
But, maybe just push to a 2 score type deal.
Okay.
I am actually going to take the over on this one.
Oh, okay. I like that. I shall take the Red Raiders, who are riding high. I think they're just new TCU right now, where they'll win this one. I don't know if they're good. I just don't. My problem is their offense is not, I don't think, as explosive in terms of like top tier players. They've got guys. They just don't have the guys.
Yes, but the defense is a lot better than that TCU
That's where they have the guys. But we've seen where they have the guys on defense and not enough on offense. Your guys, the defense better than be amazing. But I will say 9.5 for Texas Tech, 9.5. Definitely feel like this could hit the over for sure. Definitely could end up being a shootout. I like both quarterbacks in it too, but
Andrew, I want to get this one out of the way. Just
do it.
The fluke Blue Devils or Virginia.
You're asking me? I'm gonna take Duke. I'm taking Duke.
You're taking Fluke?
I'm taking Duke for the upset, baby. I like Menza as a quarterback. I know that there's a lot of people that want to say Virginia just blows them out, and I get it. I do. But there's special in that guy as a quarterback, man. There is. And I think he can do it. I think he can rally enough points on. That's why I'm taking the over on that game. And I'm taking Duke, and I'm taking Duke by at least a touchdown. I just think Virginia's going to come up short in one play, and that's going to be enough for Duke to carry it out in what could be a shootout.
I'm taking Virginia 17 to 13.
That's
this
fine.
Is not going to be a good game.
That's I can see that side too. I can totally see that side too. All right, let's roll to the next one since we got that one out of the way.
Georgia and Alabama, which, somehow got College Game Day just because the SEC has the ESPN network deal.
Who would have thought?
Georgia favored by 3, 48.5 is your over-under. I think Ty Simpson is going to give problems for Georgia's defense. But I think this is another Georgia fall forward to a win.
Okay.
That we've kind of seen throughout this year. I'm actually going to take Georgia I'm only going to give them 1.
Okay.
I think this could be a game where maybe they win like 31-30. Some deal like that where it's like, kind of like that last minute touchdown gets Georgia that lead when they need it. And then with that said, I will take the over on it.
Okay. I'm going to just roll with the Bulldogs. That defense is fast. They are elite. They have depth. I trust their offense to be just good enough So I will say Georgia. Georgia by 6. I
really can't give them more than 3.
My only issue is that while Ty Simpson has been super efficient and has shown the signs of being potentially an NFL dude, there are times where I watch him and you make him get him out of his comfort zone of the pocket, and he will make mistakes. And against that Georgia defense, especially those defensive backs, especially against Robinson the fourth, you cannot make a mistake against that kid. This is where you need Ryan Williams. He's been asleep all year. He has to wake up.
He kind of broke out like 2 weeks ago, but
the problem is, though, is that can it carry out into this game? And I don't know if he can, because look at the guys that they're gonna be all over him.
Yeah,
they're so good at taking away those routes.
I just can't give Georgia more than 3.
I
can't give them more than 3.
That could end up being a field goal game for all we know.
Yeah,
seriously,
that's
the
what I'm
offense
saying.
Just go null and void.
I don't think there's a way that Georgia can just blow them out like that. Or
the only way would
make
be
a convincing win like that. It's going to be close down the wire. Which maybe that's why College Game Day is going there. Definitely not because just the SEC has the networking deal. When really there's the number 2 team in the nation facing off against the number 1 team in the nation. OSU's favored by 4, over under a 47. And Andrew, I'm going back to what I said a couple weeks ago. There is a vast difference in the Big Ten between Ohio State and Indiana. Mm-hmm. And it's not a slight on Indiana.
Yep.
It's more so a credit to how good Ohio State is. Mm-hmm. Their quote of Moneyball, there's the top guys, and there's 50 feet of crap, and then there's us, and that's Indiana.
That's what I've always said.
I am taking Ohio State by 17, and I think that under's going to hit.
Okay.
And it's going to be a little embarrassing just because we've hyped up these teams all year. But honestly, it just comes down to that.
No, I totally agree. This is one of those games I alluded to where I think it might end up being a blowout. I know Ohio State's offense for some has not been as big as you wanted to see, where Indiana has obviously blown out a lot of its opponents. But we talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it might have been, and even before then. The problem with Indiana has been that against these top opponents that have NFL caliber players on their defense, and Iowa and Oregon and Penn State, right, that have NFL caliber players, they have struggled, and those teams have always stuck around with them. So the issue that I have is that this is an NFL team in college, littered with talent. And there's still many more, by the way, that are the backups that you have not seen, with more to come in the recruiting class. To say Indiana is on the same level as Ohio State, the only place I could see that is in the quarterback. And the only place Indiana, I would say, maybe outranked Ohio State at one point was at running back. But now, I would say they're at least on par at running back. Every other position that I can see, Ohio State is at least I would say a good 6 inches ahead of them in every category. Unfortunately, and it doesn't mean that Indiana can't somehow surprise and make a game, and they could easily do it, because at the end of the day, the difference here is that Cignetti is a very well-prepared coach who has worked with a great coach in Nick Saban, arguably the greatest coach of all time. But Ryan Day has also worked with one of the greatest college football coaches in the history of the game in Urban Meyer, arguably. Where Cignetti is a coach who puts it on the field and coaches the players, Ryan Day is the coach that manages and coaches the coaches who coach the players.
Is Hartline finishing, by the way?
That is something I'm still trying to figure out. I don't know if he's staying with. It sounds like he may not be, but that's also coming from fan speculation of Buckeyes fans.
So there's nothing confirmed yet. Is basically
nothing confirmed. Okay. He could still be finishing it out, and even if he's not, they still have another offensive coordinator that's been working alongside Hartline that they've trusted. So and still the players are there, and Ryan Day's still there, and obviously there's always been concern about his his decision-making skills comparative to his coordinators. I understand where people come from that. But he is somebody who has been there, done that, seen it all, been through it all. By now, with this team that last year won, and I think is better more this year than ever was last year, he should know this team front to back, left to right, to know what he can and can't do. So I'm saying right now, Ohio State, 17-point difference.
Yeah,
17
we're both
point
on that
difference.
track. Can I be honest? I'm actually generous with 17.
And
I honestly think, you know what this is really giving me? Georgia TCU.
It very well could.
It kind of is, because TCU
Very
was
well
such a
could.
good team. They were beating good teams, and that's what Indiana's doing right now. They were beating, but they weren't beating the upper echelon teams, and that's what Indiana's doing right now.
Yeah.
It's really giving off that type of game. I will say this, and I kind of want your prediction with this, Andrew. To me, I know we just gave Julian Love his flowers, but to me it feels like the better quarterback's going to win the Heisman. So saying for Heisman is what you're going with?
I like I said, if I could give it to Jeremiah Love, I certainly would. If it's a quarterback that's getting the favor,
Which it
I
is.
would say
it always is.
It usually is. I'd say saying right now has you can make the issue is that they're so neck and neck as far as quarterback goes. It's just with where Sayan's at and how he's delivered at Ohio State being a sophomore, where it was you could see it with Mendoza at Cal.
Yeah.
That something's there. And something's there for him to go to the NFL again, too. Sayan also as well. I don't know if they're your first-round picks necessarily. They probably will be.
Sayan
Should
wouldn't
they
be
Who
if
knows?
he came out this year, I don't think.
Sayan can't.
I know, but if he came
could,
out this
he
year,
probably would.
I don't think he would be a
He would
first-round
end up
pick.
probably being a day 2 pick.
Yeah. So I would say then this game
But
probably decides who wins the Heisman.
This is the Heisman game for sure. And
Okay.
for me, I don't see where this is. This is probably, what was the over-under again, real quick?
This is 47.5.
It could very well hit the under, but that's just
That's
because
why
Ohio State's defense is flooded with guys that are going to make it impossible for Mendoza to be able to dink and dunk it around.
Can I be honest? 34-10.
Could see it. Could see it. I
34-10,
could easily see
30-10, something like that.
I could see, I said 17 points, but to put it kind of into perspective, I could see like 31-13.
I just don't. I just
Something-
think that defense is too good.
I know.
And credit to Mendoza, I think he might start hot, but that second half, I feel like shut down Ohio State, kind of like what they did against Texas, where the second half they gave up nothing.
Because here's the thing, folks, you got to remember, if you take away, if you look at how good this defense has been this year, even if they don't score some of the points that they have, they're still winning some games here. You take away, by the way, some of Julian Sain's touchdowns that he's been able to throw, this team is still winning football games.
Yeah.
They still have a winning record, and they have one tie with Texas at the beginning of the year.
Nuts.
That's, come on. Well, it wouldn't be a tie. They'd go to overtime, but still.
Hitting the honorable mentions, is it Jacksonville State versus who?
It's Jacksonville State versus, oh, my God, now I'm
You put
blanking on.
Ken, but
That's Kennesaw State.
Kennesaw State.
Yes,
Okay. 'Cause
not
I was
Kent
thinking,
State. Kent State
I don't
didn't
know
do
why
well
I was
enough.
thinking Kent State. I was also
No.
thinking Kentucky, so I was like, who would you put here?
No, it's Kennesaw State. They're reversing their fortunes, by the
Honestly,
way.
I think it'd be fun
Congratulations.
if they won it.
I put it on here because I think it could be a fun game. These are two
No,
teams.
I think it will be a fun. I
Yeah.
think it will be a fun game. Jacksonville State is not a bad team to watch. They're
No.
actually kind of fun.
Rich Rodriguez, the counter reverses, all the big runs, they both do the exact same thing. This is like 1930s football with 2025 athletes.
True.
Gotta love it.
I'm gonna take Jacksonville State though.
I will too.
UNLV,
Sorry,
Boise
Kennesaw.
State. Boise State just owns that conference.
Yeah,
so.
right now.
UNLV does have a good defense, and Boise State's offense has taken a step back. I think that's where they might make it a game.
That's, you know what? I'm going to take UNLV on this.
I'm
one.
gonna take Boise
You take
State.
Boise, I'll take UNLV. I like Dan Mullen's always got something up his sleeve.
Yeah.
Always got something up his
And
sleeve.
can I be honest? Maction was underwhelming this year with who actually came out of it, because it felt like it could have been everyone getting in there. That's why it's not in the honorable mention. I don't even want to mention who's playing in that game.
It's
'cause it
Miami of
was kind of
Ohio.
underwhelming. No, I don't even want to mention it because it was so underwhelming this year.
Fair.
Because the actual Maction games were great, but the
Yeah.
teams that prevailed, no. Just not a fan.
There's just
Don't
not
wanna
no
mention it.
no special on there, unfortunately. in this
Sticking with
one.
honorable mentions to get this through. Cincinnati, Buffalo. Cincinnati. Both teams kind of need this win. I'm gonna give it to Buffalo.
Shootout. I'm gonna go with Cincinnati just because.
Yeah, of course you are. You little homer.
Yeah, whatever.
Jacksonville, Indianapolis. Hey, if Trevor Lawrence is in, both teams have a chance to win this game. So no matter what the score is in the fourth quarter, even if Jacksonville's up by 20, if Trevor Lawrence is still in the game, both teams got a chance to win.
I hate football this year. I don't know. I'll go with the Colts.
I'm going to go with the Colts.
And who knows?
Pittsburgh, Baltimore. I'm picking Baltimore and Survivor, so kind of gets you where I'm at. Although Lamar Jackson might be playing hurt. He said he's on track to play, though.
Okay.
But you know who else is playing hurt? Aaron Rodgers. And if Mason, the red-nosed quarterback, has to go out there, yeah, I'm taking the Ravens.
I'll take the Ravens. I don't. They come back because they're angry.
Interesting Sunday night, Kansas City, Houston. Kansas City needs it. Houston.
This is do or die for them.
I think Kansas City just has Houston's number. Like if that's kind of like how. They're kind of like how Buffalo is in the playoffs. Like the Chiefs just have their number in the playoffs.
Could be.
The Chiefs just have the Texans' number.
This is a different kind of Texans defense, though. These guys
is
are
it
on
really?
fire.
Because they kind of had them the last couple of years, and this is not any.
I don't know.
Different, really.
They're looking on a different level right now between Hunter and Anderson.
True.
Those guys are collapsing the edges, and where are Kansas City weak right now? Tackles are being a problem.
True. I'm gonna go Kansas City though.
Okay. I'll take Houston, and Kansas City's in trouble this year to not make the playoff.
I'm gonna be watching the Monsters Inc. game. I'm coming out and saying it. I'm gonna watch the Monsters Inc. game.
You're such a kid. I love you,
Dude,
Scotty.
Monsters Inc. was my childhood, man.
I'm not arguing against you. Monsters Inc. is a great movie. That's a fantastic movie. They should come out with 2.
No, they shouldn't.
University was not good. Just saying.
It was okay.
Okay, I can't. Whatever.
Philly versus the Chargers. Hurt. How much does the cast affect Justin Herbert? And I'm not gonna lie, if in cast Justin Herbert beats Philly,
I think that's it for Philly.
City might burn to the ground, and people are gonna lose their jobs.
I think they're gonna. I think Patullo gets fired if they lose that game.
So for the sake of the NFL, Philadelphia wins.
Okay. Because if Philly loses, the city of Philadelphia is going to war with the rest of America, I guess.
Dude, Scotland gets to play Haiti. Let's go.
Okay, folks, I think we've done enough here. We've been on for 2 hours. I'm exhausted.
We got one more. Bears, Packers.
Yeah, I know. We had one more.
Caleb Williams versus Toyotathon Jordan Love. And
what quarterback shows up for what team? That's my question.
All I'm saying, it's Toyotathon. So
Toyotathon. The Packers are favored by like 6.5 in this one. The over/unders I think at like 48.5. I'm gonna take the Packers, but only by 3.
I'm taking the Packers by.
It's at Lambeau. That's the thing. It's at Lambeau, but they split the series. That's where I'm at still with this team. So,
Andrew, I got 2 little quick hitters for you.
Yes, by all means.
UFC this weekend. Obviously, the card's pretty good,
but
more than that, they started announcing the first Paramount card.
Okay.
Justin Gaethje, who threatened to retire if he didn't get a title shot, gets an interim title shot against Paddy Pimblett, who's jumped 6 places without fighting in the last couple months.
Yeah.
They pushed Arman Saruki into the side. Interesting thought there. That'll be in January.
It's an eye catcher because of Paddy's name. I understand that, and obviously Gaethje is a tremendous fighter. I think they're hoping that it sells. I'm a little weary of how much it. I think they're looking at that as a bigger opportunity than what it really is. Nothing against. I think they're both good for what they are. I just think you're trying to. Almost like if you were WWE, you're trying to push Paddy Pimblett where I don't know if he needs that, and I don't know if he's ready for it.
I don't know if he's ready for it. He hasn't really beat anyone that good yet.
He's really kind of like a mid-card fighter kind of guy. He's not really a main eventer. But I guess we're gonna find out now. No backing out, I guess, unless he gets hurt or something.
And then Taporia is not going to fight for a while because of a certain outside situation.
Just fight Islam, or just make the fight.
No, he can't because
just make it happen. They're the 2 best fighters.
No, you don't know what's going on with him?
With Taporia?
Yeah.
No, maybe I'm out of the circuit on that. What?
So allegedly,
Oh boy,
he's getting a divorce.
Okay.
He's fighting for custody for his kids. There's some domestic violence disputes going around there. So that's why he said he's taking off spring because he's got to focus on all that.
Don't do this, Taporia. You are in the star of you're in the
I know.
prime, and you are going down the John Jones road. Don't do this.
I know. Like
God,
that's why it's for an interim belt.
We'll see you soon, Islam, in about 10 years when you're both past your prime, I guess.
And then they gave Lopez another title shot against Volk, even though they just went up against each other a couple months ago.
They just fought.
Yeah. So that's kind of the whole thing about it is like why you get when there's like 3 other guys they could have given the fight to.
There's nobody else they could have done. All right. Well, you know what? Good job.
And then I got one more because it is in your intro. This weekend in Abu Dhabi is the final of F1, and there's 3 contenders for it.
I would really like to see Lance win it.
Who?
I would like to see
Lando.
Sorry, Lando win it. I'd like to see Lando get the win.
No.
I don't like Max. He's a legendary driver at this point. I hate that arrogance he has, but I get it. It's why he wins. It's why he's so good. What, are you saying Piastri?
No, I'm saying I think Max
takes it.
Yeah.
I
think it'd be hilarious if
McLaren is just cleaning clocks, though. That's the thing. Like, their cars are so fast. Those guys just have to keep them on the road.
It's their guy. It's like their crew is just messing everything up.
It's always like a loose bolt. Somebody doesn't put something down, or the guys take the corner at the wrong angle. It's always something. I don't know. Lando, if you can just hold on, man, just hold on.
Oh,
give him
back to
one.
UFC real quick.
Yeah.
Bruce Buffer said on Twitter, "The one, the only." So everyone's expecting him to maybe say that for a certain fighter this weekend. Does it make sense to put that title on a Marab or a Pantoja?
No.
So, do you know the 3 that he's only said that for? The 3 fighters he's only said the one, the only.
I don't think I know that one.
Conor McGregor, John Jones,
makes sense,
and Pereira.
Oh, I wouldn't even guess Pereira.
Yeah, that's the newest one.
Okay.
So,
who the hell is that? No, there's no
one on that level.
No one.
Neither of them.
No one's
like
a one
Marab,
and
I guess,
only.
is going for 4 fights in a year, but still, no.
That's insane.
That's nuts. By
That's
the way,
insane.
That's nuts.
But that's not one and only. There's been other guys that have done way more.
No.
Sorry. Nope, don't agree with it. But hey, Bruce Buffer, you do you. That's it. You're the guy with the mic. All right, let's get out of here, folks. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all so much for watching. We always appreciate you guys. This has been a long one, I know, but we had a lot to catch up on.
And we had the time, too.
So. We had the time because the boys of Bad Karma weren't going, so we hope you guys are doing okay. We miss you. We love you guys, as always. If you guys want to check out the show anymore, of course, you can find us on YouTube and on Twitch. That's youtube.com/XBumpSports and twitch.tv/XBumpSports. Going live every Friday right now at 1 p.m. Central Time. We're seeing about a second show. We will keep you guys informed, let you guys know what's going on with that. It's kind of still TBD. I got to get my schedule in order. I'm getting a lot of stuff coming in from clients, so I got to figure that all out. Also, on the other side, too, for the social media, you want to follow us on any of that stuff, we are at XBomb Sports on everything, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and, of course, TikTok. And then any questions or comments that you guys have, as usual, you guys can send them in. We'll get to the quick hits next week, and, of course, the weekly wrap-up, whatever. I'm so burned out at this point. You know what it is. Yeah, we'll do that next week. And then once football's over with, we'll start answering some more of your more in-depth questions for other sports as well. Obviously, NBA, some other maybe more to home stuff, some weird and wacky stuff, things like that. Also, too, people, even though they didn't go, I want to make sure that you know Bad Karma Wrestling's out there on YouTube. They usually go live on Fridays. They didn't today. But if you want to hear about the news that's going down in WWE and AEW, well, guess what? Next week is probably going to be one heck of a show.
Next week might be one of the most important episodes they'll ever do.
Absolutely. And I would highly recommend you tune in. You go watch when it comes out. All of that great stuff. It's at the Bad Karma Wrestling YouTube page. Go check it out, ladies and gents. it's incredible. Yeah, BK Dub, baby. And by the way, too, in a few moments here, folks, why not tune into Sportstown Chicago to go hear Blow the Whistle? Unfortunately, because the other two aren't here, it's going to be myself, Tyler Butaball, and most likely Scotty's got to go and do his work thing. If not, oh, okay. Well, then I guess we get more Scotty. Oh, yay. I love you, buddy.
Hey, you should have told Nick. Should have told Nick, David, and Frankie to come in.
Yeah, they're all busy. Go check it out, guys. Again, it's at SportsTownChicago.com's YouTube page. We're going to be going live probably earlier than the 2 o'clock p.m. Central Time, so be on the lookout for that. It'll be the three of us going in for a little while, probably talking a lot of the same stuff we just talked about here and then some. Maybe do a little You're Killing Me Smalls. We'll see, which is always send it in to our posts at Blow T Whistle 1 on all pages. I'm not spelling it out because last time I did, I looked like an idiot, and I'm not looking like an idiot anymore. I couldn't even get my own segment that I'm supposed to know right. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all so much for watching. We love you. We appreciate you. You guys are the best fans in the world. We'll see you guys next week. We'll see you guys next Friday. And always much love. Peace out, Boom Crew.